Hey everyone. So I've been meaning to make a video about this for a while. Um, I've made many videos about AI before, and I think that something that happened recently in the music industry is very much well worth talking about. And if you don't know what I'm getting at, there is an AI artist called Xania Monet, and it is an AI created singer, um, R&B style music, and the creation comes from a poet named Talisha Jones. Now, I've attached a story in the comments so you can read along and see what I'm talking about. If you don't know, I'm going to try to explain as best I can so you get the gist of it. So the poet Jones has written all the lyrics for the songs that the alter ego AI bot singer sings. Okay, a lot of people, I guess, are doing that. They're testing it out. But this particular person came up with a song that wound up on the Billboard R&B chart at number 30. There's over 1.4 or 5 million followers of this on Spotify. And on Spotify, as far as I could tell, I did a little research. When you look at the account, they don't tell you that it's AI. This is something that I talked about a couple of years ago, and it's kind of coming to fruition now where there's people going to have a really hard time telling the difference between music made by human beings and music made by AI. Now, Jones, to her credit, is a great writer and poet. She's not a musician, at least not this creation that she came up with. It's not real. It's not real music. I don't blame her for trying. I mean, this is the world we live in, and everybody's trying to figure out what to do in the music industry. But it's not this. And there's a company called Hallwood Media, and they're a record label management company. They signed this person to a multi-million-dollar record deal. Now, I don't know who they signed. Did they sign Jones? Did they sign Monet? And it's funny because I looked at their website, and their tagline is something like, finding and developing the greatest musicians in the world. Okay, sure. This is a rough spot because, again, I don't agree with it. I wouldn't do this. I write lots of different things, including poetry, and I would never create a song that I didn't play an instrument on and call it music and release it. It's disingenuous. It's ridiculous. But I don't blame people for trying. Like, what the hell, right? Do what you want. That being said, the people who are listening to it and consuming it and following the account on places like Spotify to the tune of almost 1.5 million people, this is where the problem lies. Because if the audience, if the fans, if people who like music, and I have to assume they like music if they're following this, accept AI created music as the music they want to listen to, then we've got a problem. Because there's people can do whatever they want. I always hear things like, well, this is too expensive, or that's too expensive, or this person. Okay, well, if we didn't spend our money on these things and then complain about it, guess what? A lot of the prices would come down. This happens a lot in sports where people complain about the price of a ticket to a sporting event or even concerts. But yet they still buy them, and then they just complain about it later. If you don't buy the thing, eventually they're going to have to change their ways. In some cases anyway. I mean, it's not a perfect world or a perfect system, but come on, think about it. If AI music wasn't tolerated by fans, by the public, then they'd have to stop. These people creating it would have to stop because it wouldn't make them any money. If we held musicians, and I'm saying musicians, these AI creations aren't musicians, but there are people behind the creation. If those people weren't able to profit off of this, they'd stop doing it. That's why they're doing it. There's no artistic integrity. It's not art. It's not real. But they're taking advantage of a system that exists, and they're trying to make money off of it. Again, whatever, do what you want. You want to give it a shot, fine. But it's the people who listen and buy into this that's going to make it very difficult for real artists and real musicians to continue to make a living. And it's already very, very hard for them as it is. So it's this conversation is just beginning, and I don't know what the answer is. And there's certainly no end in sight. There's going to be more of this. Like I said, I talked about it a couple of years ago, and here it is, and it's only going to get bigger. But the fact that, this song from this one particular person wound up on the Billboard R&B chart at number 30 is absurd. But it does point to what people like me and others have feared. Rick Beato does a ton of videos like this, talking about it, and I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if anybody has the answer, but I'd love to know your thoughts. Maybe if we didn't listen, maybe if we did not consume it, maybe if we didn't follow these accounts on social media, they'd go away or they'd slow down. I don't know. Maybe that's something we should try. But for my money, this is not music. This is not art. I respect poets and writers. I respect real musicians and painters and people who actually do things. I do not respect the people who are sort of mashing all of this up and then, trying to pull one over on everybody. When they're called out on it, they have no choice but to admit it, and sometimes they admit it from the beginning. But they're not shy about taking the notoriety and the money that comes from it, knowing damn well they didn't do anything to deserve it. So yeah, let me know what you think, and keep watching and keep real music alive by not supporting AI generated music.